Hey y'all, welcome back to another episode of Harrison Talks Pod, episode 42. We have a jam-packed show today. It's been a very exciting week or weeks of the NBA season. Some unfortunate parts, of course, with injuries and players missing or players not making their debut yet. We have some players that might be on their way out before the trade deadline. Who knows? Perhaps we see a John Morant for LaMelo Ball trade. Wouldn't that be fun? Problems for problems. But um, besides that, today we have one long segment, which will take the whole episode. And I'm going to talk about 9 teams that I've enjoyed watching on League Pass and why they've been a surprise to me. Now, I did see Bill Simmons did this segment with Zach Lowe this week, but I had it planned out before that. Ignore that. And this list of 9 teams got reduced from 15 because that was way too many for me to research. It would be way too long of an episode. So we did have to leave out some good teams. Today we have good teams, pretty good teams, kind of in the middle of the road teams, even some bad teams as well. And we won't talk about the surging Oklahoma City Thunder, but maybe we do a long segment on them next week. It sure seems like they've just solved basketball, missing their second best player and only has lost one game so far. So shout out to them. Let's get into it and like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things if you're on YouTube. If not, subscribe wherever you are, leave a comment, recommend this podcast to someone else who enjoys NBA basketball, and let's get into it. So the first team that I want to talk about today are the Houston Rockets, and they've been such a fun League Pass team. And this season has had a theme of teams that I didn't enjoy in the past, mostly due to their personnel or their style of play. Those things kind of go together. And because of whatever personnel changes they went through, leads to me liking them as a team now. So it's a good feeling overall. There are some teams that I used to like that are not doing so well this year, but we can talk about them in, again, another podcast. The Houston Rockets are a top 10 offense at 122.5. That is despite being 23rd in assist rate. They are 25th in assist to turnover ratio, and in ball movement metrics, they are mostly a bottom 5 team. So they are very elite. They are a very defensive team, and the heart of all of this comes with what happened this offseason. They no longer have Jalen Green, but they have Kevin Durant. They no longer have Dylan Brooks, but they have Kevin Durant. And this might be the best defensive team Kevin Durant has been on or been around since the Golden State Warriors. I certainly think so. But unlike Golden State now, or unlike teams like the Oklahoma City Thunder, they're more elite without the elegance, I would want to say. They're more chaos, they're more physical, and they're not shooting as many threes as some of the top teams in the league. They're actually 30th, dead last in threes attempted, but they are first in three-point percentage at 42%. So that part doesn't surprise me. It's like the Kevin Durant effect, I guess. I wonder where they are with deflections if they're first in that as well, because I know they're first in offensive rebounds. And when Durant was on the Warriors, they were a top deflections team, which really helped them in those second chance opportunities. So, pretty amazing stats there. It's kind of like a yin and yang sort of deal. They are shooting 65% at the rim, 40% from mid range, and 44% from long mid range. So it's kind of a mix of things. They're shooting really well from three, really well from inside the paint area, and decent on mid range, I guess we'll say. By a historic margin, they are the number one offensive rating team. Their offensive rebound percentage is at 41%. That is incredible. It's one of the highest of the entire millennium. They get usually somewhere around 15 to 20 boards a night. And looking at some of the numbers, whether it's Steven Adams or Clint Capella, who's only getting around 10 minutes per night, it's pretty amazing how many offensive boards this team is getting. And it's leading to those second chance opportunities. It's just leading to more offense and more wins overall. They are a top five in loose balls recovered. Oh, they are top five in deflections, excuse me. Answer my own question. And top five in contested shots. They are fifth in rebounds per game, and they are one of the biggest teams in the NBA right now. So defense is locked in. Defense is messy, mean, and Durant just gives them the extra offense they might have not had last season. Other than that, top 10 in steals. Um, their forced miss rate is among one of the league's best, and they have a great young core. Shingun has definitely elevated, and it's getting more difficult for me to kind of think about who he compares to because he is quite a physical player and he is a great playmaker and he's improving as a scorer. Watch out putting him next to Kevin Durant. Is improving as a scorer, just he's moving up to not just one of my favorite young players, but just one of my favorite players to watch right now. Amen Thompson is shooting 65% at the rim, right at the team's average. Reed Shepard has made an impressive leap, shooting 47% from three right now. Just spacing the floor, I guess better, but he's a great space floor mover and seems to have great chemistry alongside Kevin Durant in those rotations as well. So clear improvement from last season. And hey, I kind of liked them last season. You know, I'm not a big fan of Dylan Brooks, his antics, but certainly a fan of how gritty and how messy and how driven they play. They are 25th in place and in pace, excuse me. And that is sort of an illusion when you think about the amount of rebounds and rebounding battles they get into, the amount of deflections they have, the amount of long possessions they have, but only 25th in pace. If I'm a Rockets fan, I'm thinking, wow, there's a lot of room for more threes and more offense and we're already doing very, very good. So, just as long as this team stays healthy, I think this team is making a run in the West for sure as a top four team. So I think I've mentioned pretty much everything I want to mention. Uh, their bounce back mentality has been elite, coming off of losses. Uh, every loss, I mean, after a loss, they scored 137 against the Nets, 139 against the Raptors, 128 against Boston, 140 against Portland. So on their four losses this season, only four, I believe, right? They've had high scoring offense, and really for this team, if they can get to that one high 120s, 130 area, that's really what they're shooting for. So um, while their defense is great, they are really trying to win it on the offensive end. Young core exploding, led by maybe the greatest offensive player of all time, and just a delight to watch this team play. Let's move on. All right, let's flip sides. Let's go over to the East. Let's go over to the Midwest, my favorite. And let's talk about a team I talked about a whole bunch last season, the Detroit Pistons, the second best record in the entire league. And they had a great win last night against the Milwaukee Bucks, 129 to 116. They shot 63% from the field, 53% from three, 31 assists on 14 turnovers, 56 points in the paint, and 30 points off turnovers. Just a great game overall, great team effort led by Cade Cunningham, who had 29 points, 10 assists, 8 rebounds on 55% from the field and 70% true shooting percentage, generated 72 points overall. So he's on an upwards trajectory. We'll see if he is an all NBA player this year. But this is certainly the version that Detroit needs Cade Cunningham to be. Jalen Duren has been rim dominant. He is 65% at the rim. He's one of the best paint scorers in the league right now. Definitely a physical tone setter and just fits that whole Detroit Pistons uh, chemistry, culture, all of that. And rim pressure is the key of how they are winning games. They are number one in points in the paint at 59.1. Number one in offensive rebounds, another great rebounding team. They are top 8 in second chance points, fourth in steals, fifth in blocks, and they've had 11 wins this year by double digits. A lot of their games are in that 120 to 130 point range. And this team is gaining momentum fast. I'm amazed by how many players, especially off the bench, have been stepping up. And they have just had a 12-game win streak, which is a franchise record for them, right? Franchise record for them. They're averaging 119 points per game in that 12-game stretch. All these games are between 52 and 62% from the field. 7 of these games are above 120 points, 4 above 125. And their three-point shooting, much like the Rockets we just talked about, not at a high volume, but their offense is still great and they're getting shots from many different places on the court as well, in and on the court. They are 8th in offensive rating at 117.2. They are top 7 in field goal percentage, effective field goal percentage, and true shooting percentage. They are top 3 in free throw rate, so they're getting to the line quite a bit. And 61.7 assist rate is one of the top in the league as well. Number one in offensive rebound, so a lot of second chance points there. High foul rates. These are all the reasons why they are closing out these games. Elite defense as well. High steals, high blocks, great rim contest, and just great effort overall. Let's talk about some other role players on this team. Tobias Harris is he had 18 points last night, 7 of 9 from the field. He had a plus 56.7 net rating. Led the team in that. Wow, that's amazing. Duncan Robinson last night was 5 of 6 from 3. Uh, just fits his team really, really well. I wrote down, just constant like gravity and like his flares and his pin downs and really good pickup for this team. Really good. I underestimated that pickup, I guess. Sar Thompson has been looking great. Is a great cutter. Uh, Off of the pass on the catch and shoot, he's shooting 39% from three, and he's giving a lot for the deflections and the steal and the overall pace of this team as well. Dennis Jenkins in this last game had 0 turnovers against Milwaukee. Is a great pull-up shooter. Has great space and structure. Javante Green has been a really impressive role player for the Pistons this season, and just I think his overall journey, being undrafted and coming into the league so late, just fits this team so well. So great to see him on this team. Was plus 18 in that rating last night. Jaden Ivey, returning wild card, I'm going to put him as for a 6 from the field last night, and has been adding a lot of firepower to their bench. So just, one of the best teams right now. I hope they can stay at the top of the East for lots of selfish reasons. But overall, they just play angry, they play gritty, they wanna grind with other teams, whatever I'm trying to say. They want to bang with other teams, and it's very much Detroit basketball culture. Let's move on. We are staying in the East. We are doing a team that I did not start watching so much and in the beginning of the season, and then have been watching more and more as the season has gone on. And they've been kind of up and down. That is the Chicago Bulls, starting out 6-0 on the season, now 9-7. They have won 3 of their last 4. And they are a fun League Pass team because a lot of their games have very heavy swings with very high scoring runs. For Chicago, they might have really bad defensive collapses, and there's a lot of momentum shifts on both sides. So 9-7 is certainly better than what I had anticipated from them. I do hope they are in playoffs or play in this year, just based on the past seasons they've had. And I hope they are competitive. I underestimated this team as well. Just below, yes, they're at 120.8 points per game, which is eighth in the league. They are shooting 47.2% overall with a 55.1 effective field goal percentage. That includes 37.7% from three at 38 attempts per game. They are a high assist team, which shouldn't surprise us too much with their personnel. 29.7 assists per game is top 5, and they are second in the NBA in assist rate at 68.5. So, ball movement, something that I put as one of my highest regards when watching a team, they are right up there. They are a ball movement team and a team that is making much quicker decisions than they were last season. Uh, Field goal attempts, they're at 91.8, which is seventh in the league. They are the sixth fastest in pace at 104.2 possessions per game. They are also top 10 in fast break scoring. 42% of their shots come from three, and they have been pretty streaky on their 3-point shots throughout this season. And obviously, when they hit above 15 threes per game, they usually win. When they hit less than 12, they usually lose. So, no surprises there. They are an elite rebounding team, much like other league pass teams that put on this list. They are number one in defensive rebounds at 36.4 rebounds per game, and they are top 5 in defensive rebound percentage at 70.9. So, um, opponents are sometimes scoring easily on them, but when they're not scoring, they're securing the ball, is the bottom line for that. Great rim pressure, uh, from mid range. Opponents are shooting 46%, 5 to 9 feet, 50%, 10 to 14 feet, and their 3-point shooting. 14.5 makes per game. I'm kind of jumping around now. Defense and offense. Where are my notes going? So they are a frustrating team at times if you are a fan of this team, but I do think they are fun, and yes, I hope they are above 500 this year. We'll see. We'll see. The East is kind of in an interesting spot at the at the very top and the very bottom. So the middle, I don't know what to think about right now. Defensive rating is 26th at 116.6. I can't believe it's that high for 26. Points in the paint is Points in the paint allowed is 55.4, which is third worst. So they are just not doing well at the rim. 12.9 threes allowed per game, and 36.1% is their opponent's field three-point percentage, which is in the bottom 10 in the league. So a lot of improvements can be made on the defensive end, but hey, if you are an NBA fan, you will see some fun momentum swings, some fun offensive runs, and you might see some high offensive basketball depending on who the matchup is. They are chaos merchants, we're going to call them. Last week, they beat Denver with 19 threes, 31 assists. They beat Portland with 21 threes. They beat Washington by 1 point last night, but then they got destroyed by Miami the game before that at minus 36 point differential. So, yeah, for people following this team and fans of this team, it's hard to tell what's going on every night, but certainly a team that I like to pay attention to. So I think we move on, and we'll talk more about their players in a later episode. All right, staying in the East. And I didn't put this order together for any like reason. It's not like most favorite, least favorite. Just 9 teams I enjoy. So we're staying in the East. Let's talk about the Hawks because the Hawks are in a different position than the other teams we've talked about so far. I've enjoyed watching them and watching this Trey Young-less without Trey Young experiment, and I wouldn't be surprised if this is what the future holds for them. Wish Trey Young was playing, but I've talked on here enough about how I don't really like that Trey Young or Atlanta Hawks brand of basketball. Same thing, right? Same for both. They did win against the Pelicans last game. They had a rough start, starting out 3 of 14 from the field and 0 from 7 of 3. They were down 7 very early, but then they had a flip, outscored New Orleans by over 25 points in the last 33 minutes and only had 7 turnovers after averaging 18 turnovers in their most recent game. Speaking of 18, they forced 18 turnovers for 25 points and held the Pelicans to a 101 defensive rating. So the Pelicans, their pack the paint strategy worked early on, and then Atlanta started hitting threes later on in the game. Kristaps Porzingis had 30 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 blocks, 0 turnovers, and was unstoppable in his mismatches. Jalen Johnson almost got a triple double, 18, 11, and 9, and was plus 20 overall. Krejci had another big game with 21 points, 7 of 10 from three. Really surprised by him. But shout out former Thunder player Dyson Daniels, great player to watch. 14, 8, and 4, just anchoring that defense for the Hawks, and just had a really, really nice win overall against a team that is struggling for sure. So, a team that has sort of a different identity when Trae Young isn't on the court, and certainly an identity that I'm attracted more to. With Trae, it's more heliocentric. It is more of that ISO heavy, more of that pick and roll, um, more of that one star shot creation. And without him, it's more free flowing. So I've been calling it for a while, and I think they should move on from him. And I think Trey Young has a really, really good value. It's kind of unfortunate and fortunate at the same time that there's players that I enjoy. I just don't enjoy the situation that they're in. But I wonder if Trey Young on a different team plays as a different player. I really don't know. I don't know what the overall value is either. 30.3 assists per game is third in the league, second in the NBA in assist rate at 70.6%. No one really over dribbles on this team. Their ball movement has been great. Top 10 in steals at 9.7, top 10 in blocks at 5.5, top 3 in deflections at 20.2, and their opponent turnover rate is above 16%. So when Trey Young is not on the floor, their overall pace and quickness and defense just shoots up. They play fast, averaging over 17 fast break points per game. On the road, they are top 10 in transition, and they are plus 6.1 on road games. And they have just a lot of great athletes on their team, whether it's Jalen Johnson, Dyson Daniels, Okongwu, Nikhil Alexander Walker. These are all providing fast paced, great offense and some uh, entertaining transition offense as well. Jalen Johnson is averaging 22, 10, and 7. He's shooting 66% at the rim. He pushes the overall pace of this team, just having a great season overall. Okongwu is averaging 16 points per game, 7.4 rebounds, and 1.1 blocks. He's shooting 42% from three this season. So there's a big surprise there. DeJounte Murray is offering a great offensive stabilization, and we know that his mid-range acts as a great safety valve for this Atlanta Hawks team. Players like Krejci or Luke Kennard are low usage, but can have some great games. I mentioned Krejci having 21 points in their last game. Dyson Daniels averaging 2.3 steals per game. No surprise there, but it's great to see. 6 rebounds, 5 assists, low turnovers by Dyson Daniels. Keeps the pace fast and the pressure high against the opposing team. And they're just playing very efficient. They're playing very democratic. The ball movement has looked great. So I'm very surprised the way this team has kind of shifted this season. And I still need to watch more of them because I have neglected the Atlanta Hawks a lot the past few seasons. As I mentioned, top 10 steals, top 10 blocks, top 10 enforced turnovers. But their weakness is defensive rebounding. So there's a lot of room to grow as well for this team. I expect them to be out of the play in the East, but we'll see how they do, and we'll see if they make any big changes at all because I am expecting some sort of big change um, much before the trade deadline. Let's see if I'm right. Next team. All right, we're staying in the East. The next team is the Toronto Raptors. Huge surprise. Have I said biggest surprise yet? Might be my biggest surprise. 10-1 in their last 11. Uh, very different than the slow, grindy Raptors of recent years. They are very fast. They have multiple creators now. They have a deep rotation. They just have a fun, young team. I think this team can make a serious run as they are an Eastern Conference team. They're seventh in points per game at 121.1. They're also seventh in offensive rating. Their effective field goal percentage is 57.4, which is also seventh. So they're just seventh in everything. And they are top six. They're sixth in points in the paint at 55.3. So they are scoring on all different places on the floor, which makes them a very fun league pass team. 30.4 assists per game, which is third in the league. They are third in assist rate at 68.5. Only the Thunder and the Nuggets are moving the ball better when it comes to assist rate. And their assist to turnover ratio is amazing at 2.14. So, much like the other heavy ball movement teams on this list or in the league right now, there's this constant cutting, swinging, touch passing, a lot of just five-man flow in their offense, which is creating this high assist rate. They are top. They're I keep saying top, but they're sixth in turnover rate at 14%. So their offense is fast and smooth, as well as having great ball movement. They are shooting 67% at the rim. They have 20.3 made shots within 5 feet, which is fifth in the league. So a lot of their made field goals are coming within the painted area or very close to it. They are shooting 50.7 from short mid range and 48% from long mid range. So really just finding shot creation all over. And this is not a team that has like a huge star like top five player in the league. They're finding their offense from all different players. All five of their usual starters are setting career highs in points, with that being said. And all five starters also have a reduced usage from their past season. So everyone's touching the ball, everyone's eating, and there's just really no ball stopping. This is a prime example of a good league pass team to watch, but also one that's just winning like all of their games recently. Scotty Barnes becoming a true two-way star. He's averaging 19, 7, and 5, and is becoming more elite defensively, has made huge leaps in his shooting and his scoring. Very fun to watch. RJ Barrett fitting in great on this team, and so is Brandon Ingram. These are like the best versions of these players on this team. Ingram gives them the elite inside scoring and shot creation they need. RJ Barrett is a great downhill force, and I think they both might be playing some of the best ball of their whole careers, at least so far. Uh, Players like Emmanuel Quickly and Jakob Podol give the offense a more clean, modern look. Quickly is a lead decision maker. His assist to turnover ratio is at 3.8. He's shooting 38% from three. Jakob Poeltl is shooting 73% from the field. And he is a top tier screener, top tier finisher. So all of this is helping their efficiency and offense overall. Other players like Mamu, Grady Dick, offering great spacing and movement. They're finding all different offense, whether it comes from their top five or their bench. Their defense, I've been saying chaos a lot this episode. Chaos would be a great way to describe their defense. 16.2 opponent turnover rate is top 10. 8.9 steals per game is top 10. 18.6 deflections per game is top 5. So they play fast on both ends of the ball. Their weakness, their weaknesses makes their games maybe even more watchable if you are just an NBA or just a League Pass fan. Their defensive rebounding is sometimes shaky, which can affect their defensive rotations and sometimes can make those leads disappear. And if I'm a Raptors fan, that's the first place I'm looking for overall improvements for this team. But they do look like they could be a 50-win team this season, and what a bounce back they could have. Not surprised if they are top 4 in the East. Not surprised if they're top 2 or 3 in the East when it's all done. I think the East is wide open right now, although there are teams like the Celtics that are playing better. But this team, especially this past month, is playing great. All right, next team. Yep, we're staying in the East. And I've already did a segment a couple weeks ago on players that I really want to see get traded. And most of them are big name players. Top of my list is Joel Embiid. Let's talk about the 76ers. And my message is the same that I had a couple weeks ago. Sixers, if you truly trust the process, you will trade Joel Embiid and you will trust your young core. Nothing against Embiid. In fact, I would love to see Embiid succeed in a different environment. And I think he has great trade value. There's nothing more that we have to say for when he is playing his best basketball. It's some of the best basketball that you can watch in the entire league. But the last game solidified my feelings of all of this, and their young players have made this one of my favorite teams to watch. And what a shift, because 76ers have been a team that I haven't believed in recently, and their vision is something I haven't believed in. Mix of young and old players, healthy and unhealthy players, but there's something that I see here, and it's not quite there yet, but I'm hoping they stick with it, and that's where it leads to because it's super, super fun to watch. So Tyrese Maxey, career high, 54 points 2 nights ago in their last win, 9 assists, joining only Wilt Chamberlain that has that sort of stat line for the 76ers. Scored 16 points in the fourth and just was more aggressive in crunch time, which Nick Nurse asked him to be. He was 18 for 30 from the field, just nonstop motion. Has to be one of the best uh, conditioned players. I swear he never looks tired when I watch him play. Uh, Milwaukee tried playing soft zone against the 76ers, and that didn't work. And the pace of Tyrese Maxey is matching the pace of Allen Iverson when he played his MVP season. If you're looking for other Sixers comparisons, so can find all different ways to score, but especially downhill is where Maxey, I think, is the most impressive and just selfless, a very selfless brand of basketball, which is amazing whenever you score more than 50 points, and we can say that it's a selfless brand. Um, it's certainly at a level that I had not anticipated, and Tyrese Maxey has been a player that I think I've been watching for most of his career. I just think it's at a different point now, and the Sixers are smart. They know they need to build around him. I think the Sixers are fun again. I just really think they're fun again. The Embiid era has been very interesting. It's it's been a rough history, and the whole trust the process history of it has been interesting. And I can't believe they're at this point where they have players beyond Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, Jared McCain that I'm looking at, and I think this could be one of the best young cores in basketball. And what a haul you could get for a player like Joel Embiid to build around these young players as well. So Maxi is the new identity, I think, bringing their pace and space offense. Philadelphia has a positive net rating without Joel Embiid this season. So I just think this new era is beginning and shouldn't be held back throughout the entire season. Let it happen. VJ Edgecombe has had, some nights where he doesn't shoot as well, but I just don't really care as much if he's having nights where he has good offense and nights where he's still trying to make shots. I think that's perfectly fine for a rookie and for a team where I don't know exactly what their goals are. They're sixth in the league right now. I mean, sixth in the East overall. And I think this is the first time they've had a real, rookie core in a long time that has serious potential. Jared McCain, Jared McCain made his debut, I think it was last week. Definitely a smart, poised, young decision maker, and can't wait to see what he does for the rest of the season. Hopefully, uh, being healthy and continues to be that elite shooter that we know that he can be. Their pace is great. Their shooting in transition has been phenomenal. Without Embiid, they are above 117 in their offensive rating. They are 62% in their assist rate. Their turnover percentage is 14.5, which is for a young team just very, very good. Without Joel Embiid, too, there is high rim pressure and very high transition scoring that's going on. So it fits all the identity, it fits everything that I would look at for a good league pass team. Whether it's Quentin Grimes as an elite spacer, Kelly Oubre offering great two-way energy, and Paul George coming back. And Paul George is along with any other vet players. But Paul George, will see what his future is with the Sixers as well. If the Sixers think about making any sort of moves, not saying that they will, but he is showing signs early on this season coming back that he could be that stabilizing force on offense that we know he can be. We know that he can balance the spacing on offense and that he can be a very good defender on the wing. Overall, they are 118.4 points per game, 54% effective field goal percentage, and 37.7% from three. On defense, they're still making some mistakes that you would expect from a young team, but overall, like I said, with a lot of these league pass teams that are young, a lot of good chaos that's coming out of it. They are better at home, but on the road, their pace is actually higher. They're shooting heavier. They might be taking worse shots on the road as well, but they are playing better at home. So, Philadelphia, it is time for you to trust the process and try to get a good return before it is too late. Same message that I left you with a couple weeks ago. Moving on. And we're staying in the East, talking about the East today. The East has been great for League Pass this season, and the West has been, I don't know if it's been more predictable, but uh, this is my list. Surprising teams. Next one is the Miami Heat. I do enjoy Miami Heat culture. And this is one of the most Heat culture teams I think I've seen. Of course, you have Bam Adebayo, but again, you don't really have that top 10 player. And you just have a really gritty team on both ends with a lot of depth, a lot of defensive depth. Certainly looks different than past seasons. Their last game against Chicago, they won 143 to 107. They didn't have Tyler Hero, Nikola Jovic, Andrew Wiggins, and they had 8 Heat players in double figures. So when we talk about depth for the Miami Heat, there it is. They've been very, very nice this season. Uh, Keyshawn Johnson, Keyshawn Johnson had a great game. Had some great contested rebounds and traffic. Um, and we'll see what his role overall is for this team. Cleo Ware is been great on defense and had 20 points in the last game, so looked great on offense as well. Uh, yeah, Davion Mitchell was 7 for 7 from two. Definitely give some stability to Miami Heat on offense. Norm Powell and Bam Adebayo had a decent night, but Norman Powell, I think, might be a borderline all-star player like he was last season. I put him in my all-star list for last season when he played on the Clippers. Chicago just could not keep up with this team. Miami had 35 assists to just 10 turnovers. Amazing. 53 boards, 15 of them offensive rebounds, 44 free throws, and just a snapshot of everything that Miami does well, including getting to the free throw line. In the Eric Spoelstra era, this is the fastest paced Miami Heat team, top 5 in the NBA right now at 106.4 possessions per game. Wow. A lot of really quick decisions from this team. 124.8 points per game, top tier offense. They are making 13.9 threes and 38% from three, offering elite spacing, and they are shooting the ball over 93 times per game, which is one of the top teams in the league as well. 57 points in the paint. So getting shots from all different places on the floor. Not very much mid range, though. I should take that back. Actually, it's a lot of at the rim, it's a lot of three, but it's the highest percentage shots you want to take, right? One of the best ball distribution teams in the league, excuse me. Their assist rate is at 68%, which is top 4 in the league. Assist to turnover ratio is at 2.1. And this is certainly another team where everyone touches the ball. They're averaging almost 10 offensive boards per game, and they get high defensive effort from so many players on this team, whether it's Jaime Jaquez off the bench, Bam Adebayo, Norman Powell, Davion Mitchell, so many different teams that um, fit into that whole Heat culture identity. Over 9 steals per game. They are top 10 in the league for steals. They are putting up elite contest numbers on both twos and threes, putting a lot of pressure on the ball on defense. 21.8 points off turnovers is great. 18.7 second chance points is third in the league. And their fast break looks great too, as we mentioned. So points in the paint, 3 points, transition points, um, very high, um, high, heavy, really good defense. I'm running out of adjectives, I guess, as these teams go along. So with that being said, let's just kind of move ahead of everything. A lot of discipline coming from a team that has a lot of young players, but it's also anchored by great coaching staff and some great veteran players as well. So it seems like this is a team where everyone is kind of buying in and knowing their role, and it's just a very fun, gritty team, whether it's rebounding, point scoring, physicality, whatever it might be. A team that I'm putting on my TV more and more, and like the past few seasons, really just Miami in general, it's a team that if my team was going against them in the playoffs, I'm super annoyed by them because their preparation with their coaching staff is going to be top tier, and they're going to have a whole season to kind of get used to this team structure as well. We'll see if they make it out of the play-in. We'll see where they end up. They are fourth at 10-6 in the East right now. All right, we are done with the East. Let's do two teams for the West to finish off this day. One not so good, and one that has been very good recently. The first one is one that's been one of my favorite teams for the past 5 years. They finally tanked last season. If you figured it out already, good for you. It is the Utah Jazz. Utah Jazz, not a good team. They are 11th right now. They are 5-10, but they have a great player in Lauri Markkanen who they should move. Walker Kessler's out, but they are a team where they can score 140 points, but they could also, in the same game or next night, have 140 points scored on them. So, they are certainly a team that I like watching when it comes to spacing and ball movement, and I think has one of the best coaches in the league, and Will Hardy. They have games where, even though they've only won 5 games, they should maybe be losing more, and they should maybe not be cutting so many games close because they might not want to be in the playoffs this year just yet, especially with the draft that is coming up. They really had to pull the plug last season to make sure they tanked because for the last few seasons before that, they were kind of just floating. They kind of like that fringe play-in playoff team, and were winning a lot of close games against top teams in the league. So, well, I like to focus a lot of my time watching good defensive teams. And while Utah isn't great defensively, they're fun to watch. They are an entertaining team to watch. And I'd much rather watch this team with ball movement than a team that is more ISO heavy than something else. Just put whatever team you want in there. You can imagine. They are 10th in points per game at 118.9. They are attempting 41 threes per game, which is fourth in the league, and they are making 13.9. They are a big surprise on the interior, scoring 47.7 points in the paint, and that's without not having a very serious rim threat at all, I'll say. Just a lot of players that are stepping up. 72.5 assist rate is amazing. And the ball movement, especially for a very young roster, has been elite. Every game is a track meet with this team. No surprise with the high scoring that the pace is very high. Top 10 at 102.7. Uh, every night there's over 90 shots that are being attempted by these teams. They're scoring 19.1 points off turnovers, 17.5% off second chance points. A lot of chaos scoring. I'm keeping that word going for tonight. Keontae George and Lauri Markkanen, Colin Sexton are all players that are just pushing the tempo for this team, and a lot of tempo change, a lot of momentum changes, a lot of runs, a lot of swings, and yeah, you watch a Utah game, it's probably high scoring, and even though one team might be in the lead by 15, doesn't mean that team is going to win by the end. They are bottom three in defense at 120.4. They are allowing 126.1 points per game. Their opponent's effective field goal percentage is at 58%. So just no good. Getting the miles on the interior, 50.7 points allowed in the paint per game. 22.5 points off Utah turnovers, 15.5 points off allowed off fast breaks. So their defense is where you have to improve. And with that being said, trade Laurie Markkinen. You embrace the tank and embrace the process. And if you don't trade him, he is he's a 50-40-90 so far. So I do understand if you don't. And you want to see, he's kind of want to see how what that future looks like as well. Uh, no problem against guards, Laurie Markkinen. That usual size differential creates mismatches. No problem for him. Keontae George has been a huge surprise. 22.8 points per game, 7.1 assists. Just great shot creation from him. Not sure if this is more good stats, bad team, but have really enjoyed watching him on this team this season. Isaiah Collier has looked great on when he's on the court. Utah's average pace goes to 107, so very plays very very fast when he's on the floor. Other players like John Collins, Colin Sexton, Sensabaugh, which is one of my favorite names. uh, Svi, Miko, Svi. First name is Svi Mikhailiuk. It's always the one name I always mess up. Mikhailiuk. Sorry, yeah, whatever. You're not gonna hear it, but no offense to them. Um, Offering a lot of efficient scoring overall from these role players. And I think Will Hardy, yeah, is the X factor for this. It's the real reason why this team is watchable. And in the last 5 games, their offense has gone from 110.3 to 124, which would be the sixth best in the NBA during that same time. Seeing improved two-man action between Laurie Markkinen and Keontae George, seeing a faster pace from this team as the season progresses, and just seeing better development from these young players due to them having a great coach. So while I don't think they will be in the playoffs, well, I think they should not be in the playoffs. Well, they shouldn't try to, shoot for a 10th spot or something. They are a fun, very fast team to watch this season. So I have one more team for you for this episode. And we're ending with one of maybe the biggest surprise for me this season so far is the Phoenix Suns. And they have won 9 of their last 11, putting them at 10-6. Had a rough start to the season, and they are sixth place in the East overall. Yes, they're sixth place in the West overall. Excuse my first one. We're done at the East for today. We're on to the West. They are one of the NBA's best shooting teams right now, and just not a team that I was too focused on because they were losing games to start the season, and wasn't sure what this team's focus was going to be after moving on from Kevin Durant. Had a new ownership come in, made the huge Kevin Durant trade, which was that was before the Lucas trade, so man, that was huge. But it's a new era with this ownership team. They are fifth in the league in three-pointers made at 15.4 threes per game, and they attempt 40.1, which is fourth in the league. They are shooting 38.4% from three, which is great. 56% effective field goal percentage overall. True shooting percentage is at 60%. They have a top 10 efficiency offense in the league overall. They are shooting 66% at the rim, and in the short mid range, 10 to 14 feet, they are shooting 48%. So this version of the Phoenix Suns is actually shooting better than last season, which, you know, i- coming off of a Kevin Durant team, not something that you would expect with Devin Booker, Bradley Beal, all those other offensive players as well. 119 points per game, which is 10th in scoring. Their assist rate is at 63% and averaging 26.8 assists per game, resulting in some real ball movement for this Phoenix Suns squad. So, yeah, a lot of these teams on this list, their assists are great, they're passing the ball really nicely, and they're making great effort on both ends of the floor. Offensive rebounds is another key factor, I guess, because they're averaging 13.1 offensive boards per game. Offensive rebounding percentage is at 35.1, which is one of the top in the league. They are recovering 5.6 loose balls per game, which is one of the top in the league as well. And they are eighth in screen assists at 8.4, resulting in 19.8 points per game. The hustle battles are one they're winning almost every night. Defense, slightly above average. Their rating is at 112.4. They are averaging 10.8 steals per game, which is great, and 4.4 blocks per game, which is in the middle. They are top 10 in forcing turnovers. Their percentage is at 16.8%, and they are allowing 51.3% at the rim. So, if you want to improve their defense, that's where you would begin. You would begin in the paint for trying to get a solid rim protector. And you would also try to limit your turnovers more because you are allowing 22.6 points per game off of your turnovers. And a lot of players have stepped up. Gillespie, Grayson Allen, Dylan Brooks. This trio of players has really given Phoenix this perhaps rejuvenated or brand new identity, whatever you want to call it. Colin Gillespie, surprise rotation gem player, averaging 11 points per game, 40% from three, 5.1 assists, and his assist to turnover ratio is elite at 3.1. Grayson Allen, 18.5 points per game. Is that a high for him? 45% from three, which I bet is a high, and is a great secondary scorer when you put him next to Devin Booker. Dylan Brooks, surprise, 21 points per game, with some very tough shot making so far this season, and certainly helps set that team's gritty identity. Mark Williams is coming up big, shooting great, 63% from the field, 12 points per game, averaging more than 8 rebounds per game, and is a plus 6.9 in his net rating. Players like Igodaro, sorry about that, is shooting efficiently. Players like Jordan Goodwin and Ryan Dunn are contributing to their overall defensive identity, and their overall pace is average at 100.8. So they're not as chaotic as some other teams on this list, but they are playing perhaps more of a controlled brand of basketball with a very high assist rate, a very smart shot profile, and very good elite spacing. So very happy to see that the Suns team is doing well, and this team needs to shoot for a. They're sixth right now. They need to shoot for trying to be out of the play-in for sure. That's what they should shoot for because this is going to be a playoff team, and I'm not sure if they can make a run, but if they do what they did these last 11 games, winning 9 of those games, then I think they will. I have yapped a lot. Wow. Okay. Thank you so much. If you made it this far, like, subscribe, do all the YouTube things, share it with an NBA fan, help the algorithm, and I hope you have a great week and a great NBA week. I will see you next time.